Contrary to what you might think, relapsing into active addiction is not a spontaneous occurrence that just comes out of nowhere. It's important to understand that the warning signs for a relapse generally start much sooner than you might think. In most cases, relapse is a process that acts in a predictable pattern of emotions, actions, and behaviors, such as detaching from your support system, delusional thinking like, maybe it was just a phase, I think I can handle a drink or two now, or the worst of these, that insidious craving becoming all you can think about. However, if you are aware of the warning signs, you can be in a far better position to arrest the possibility of a relapse early. So in this section, we're going to cover the 5 common warning signs that an addict is headed towards a relapse and what can be done to get them back on track. When putting down our drug of choice, many addicts miss the rush, escape, and distraction they were used to and can start looking to other options to fill the void, such as working, eating, dieting, sex, relationships, gambling, shopping, exercise. I could go on and on. Now, most of these in moderation are fine, but how many addicts do you know whose natural instinct is moderation? Recognizing these sub-addictions early and taking action towards addressing them will save you a lot of grief later in recovery. Also, the skills you're learning now about staying clean and sober can be applied directly to other addictions or compulsive behaviors. Being in denial about our addiction or the delusion that we are different and the rules don't apply to us can be a very dangerous attitude to have. As addicts, we can have a strange ability to rationalize to ourselves and others what we think is best for us and what we can handle. The problem is we aren't always very accurate. For example, the overconfidence that we can handle going to bars and hanging out with old friends that drink and use, or feeling that we don't fit in with others in recovery and only looking for the differences rather than the similarities, or acting as if everything is fine when in actuality you are suffering and need help. Developing the skill of self-honesty is crucial for a successful recovery, so I encourage you to question your motives and frequently ask yourself, is this the most helpful action I can take for my recovery in this moment? Or is this thought or action moving me towards or away from a healthy recovery? Lastly, you will need to be completely honest with your doctor and any other doctor you visit in the future about your addiction. If you do need to take a prescription drug that you fear could lead to a relapse, it's best to ask a trustworthy friend or family member to hold on to them for you and give them to you as prescribed. It is often said that whatever we put in front of our recovery will be the first thing that we lose. Or if we put our recovery first, everything else will be first class. However, recovery losing its priority is not always obvious and can show up in many ways. For instance, we can begin sinking into complacency and boredom with recovery. We can begin overfilling our plate with obligations like family, work, and activities while recovery goes on the back burner. Or the very common story of meeting a new love interest in recovery and all of a sudden they become your main priority. One of the best things I ever did for myself in early recovery was making a firm commitment to myself that my sobriety would be my top priority. I've proven to myself again and again that if I'm not practicing a strong recovery program, all the good things in my life begin to fade away. One of the easiest indicators that you are in the relapse process is being frequently stuck in negative feelings, attitudes, and emotions. For instance, you might be feeling resentful, stressed, defensive, angry, anxious, shame, remorse, or self-pity. An immediate emotion or feeling isn't always within our control, but how we respond to these feelings is within our control. Many of us in recovery, myself included, reach a point where we ask, what is the point of staying sober if I always feel depressed? This can be a dangerous place for an addict or an alcoholic to go because drinking, using, or even thoughts of suicide can easily begin to cloud our minds. Some of the indicators that depression is setting in are avoiding meetings and isolating, ignoring your support group, skipping healthy habits like meditation, exercise, and getting outdoors, eating poorly or sporadically, and having very low energy. If you find yourself in this state, we recommend taking immediate action by reaching out to your support system or a professional for help. Continue with the rest of this program and adopt the skills we are presenting and finding ways to be of service to others to get out of your head. By being aware of our relapse warning signs, we can do the work to not only avoid them, but to take positive, preventative action and place ourselves in a much better position for a healthy, long-term recovery.